Hello, I'm Adriana. In order to become a clear channel for the divine, I have worked on raising my vibration very intensely the last 8 years, working on my issues every single day. This allows me to become a clear vessel for information for those especially that are also on this spiritual path, wanting to connect more with their soul, with their purpose, with your higher self. Today's reading is for an individual also on this path. My gifts are to help individuals come more to their light so that you can bring more to your community, more of your true self, more of your light. So before we draw cards, let's go ahead and align our energies together. If you could really focus on grounding, feeling your feet on the ground, feeling your heels into the earth, and directing your energy down, your breath down, connecting to that earth energy, and then up into your heart, breathing in warmth, breathing in expansion, but breathing into that space. And then centered in the middle of your head, right up here to the crown. Okay, let's go ahead and get some cards going. I'll show them to you as I talk about them, and I'm going to lay them all out in front of me so I see the big picture. All right, foundational cards. We have 3 of fire, 3 of water, 8 of fire, and 9 of air. Okay, I'll going, and then a stop at the end. Okay, because it's so close, All right, now what's going for this person? We've got Queen of Water going for you, 6 of air going for you, and the Judgment. Okay, challenges. All right, challenges, we've got the 10 of water and the Elder of air. And then crowning message, please. Spiritual lesson here. All right. Death. And I was outside in the backyard this morning with my partner and our kitties, and he found a Luna moth. And the Luna moth is a symbol of transformation, just like this death card. I mean, look at her moth wings back here. And it was such a beautiful moth. It was kind of this color, this greeny, light greeny, shimmery, very ethereal looking moth. And it's also about the transformation of the feminine, the growth and the expansion of the feminine energy, which is that connection to your heart, the connection to the flow. And so this being the crowning message, this is about a time of transformation, a time of growth, a time where endings become beginnings, and we cannot be afraid to walk through new doors. And while we tend to be curious, walking through a new door can feel scary because you don't know what's on the other side. And I feel like that concept especially is going to be something you're going to have to work with, because in our foundation we have this wonderful forward movement. We have the 3 of Wands, visionary. We have 3 of Cups, the joy in building, your vision being recognized and people coming forward to help you with that vision. And then the 8 of fire, taking that vision even more forward. We're coming to completion, and then all of a sudden 9 of air. There's a worry, there's the stoppage. I mean, look at the warmth in these cards, and all of a sudden we have this coldness. It's like the candle light is blown out because there is an internal fear. And this fear seems to be around being recognized, being seen for who you are and what your true colors are. I read a strange passage today about, it was in one of those advice columns, and the person was saying, I'm an atheist, but I still offer prayers to people because when they're in these times of need, it seems like prayers mean more to them than um, than than anything else. So this person is hiding who they are, and they're acting in a way that's actually quite hypocritical if you think about it. But they're not being honest with the other person. They don't necessarily have to say I'm an atheist. Maybe they don't want to get into that kind of conflict, but they're not behaving in a way that's really true to them. They could say, I offer you my love, I offer you my thoughts, I offer you my best wishes, I offer you peace, I offer you strength. They could do a lot of other things other than use the word prayer. But that's the kind of conflict I feel is here, is that the closer you are to going through that new door, to having your vision truly come to fruition, you're scared of being seen. And because of that, you're coming up with a lot of reasons why you shouldn't be seen and why this shouldn't come to fruition. This is really fascinating. She's the color of that Luna moth. All of this right here, even that gold behind her. I mean, look how close these colors are. So you're afraid of your own transformation. You're afraid of your own growth. You're afraid of what might happen to you. And the reason why I also say magnified, 9, 3 times 3 is 9, right? So that's your 3 of fire, 3 of water magnified. And what is also terrifying to you is how quickly things have been coming together, how much flow you've been seeing, how much support you've been seeing, how much insight, and how much you've been helped in this whole process. It's like if a problem arises, immediately the solution's right there. Or if something comes up, all of a sudden the information on how to fix it is right in front of you. And you've been also experiencing a lot of synchronicities. You've been taking a lot of time to listen, this shell back here, to listen to yourself, listen to your inner voice. And you have been rewarded, really, with all of that. And it's so interesting because your mind, your ego self, is so afraid of all of this flow that everything good that's been happening to you, it's warping into something bad. And this is demonstrated so perfectly visually. So here's all of the fear and anxiety. And look at that moon behind here. We had the planet Mars here, which is forward, it's go, let's get this done, let's keep this ball rolling. And here it becomes sickly, like, oh, that shouldn't be happening. And again, the 3 times 3, the arms are held up here, and here she's lying on her arms, like holding them in, like I'm not going to embrace this new way. And then same, the 3 of water, these flowers that are blooming and blossoming, now they're contained and they're held in. So your own unfolding is happening right in front of you. It's happening, and it's happening easily for once. And yet you're so scared of that transformation. And a lot of people are afraid of the death card, and they're afraid of death in general because they think it means the end, but it doesn't. It means a shift. It means growth. That's all it means. It's not the end. We did have the 10 of water, but we don't have other cards signifying end. So this isn't a sudden shock. It's really the natural unfolding that you see. And you know, it's interesting, when I found that Luna moth this morning, and I might do a post about it, so if I'm really terrible with technology, but if you know how to look at the community page, you'll see the picture. And it was already, because it's now daytime, it was already starting to disintegrate a little bit. I could see the tail of it kind of shriveling. So it's already on its natural progress. It already has lived for 10 days, and now it's passed onto a different, the energy has become something different. So I'm feeling that with you, that you're already moving through the natural progression of things, but you're worried about it. All right, now what do we have going for you? What is the energy working for you? A lot of hope, a lot of faith in the future. It's our Queen of Whoops. Queen of Water here. A lot of hope and faith in the future. And combined with the Six of Air, you are and have been in a space of healing for a long time. And it may feel like this healing is not apparent on the outside. With the Six of Air, it's kind of like I've been in this spot for so long. How much longer do I have to feel like I'm healing? But what your mind is estimating, again, as we saw with the Nine of Air, that what the mind is estimating is not really the way it is. Because if you feel like you've been here a long time, it's for a reason, and it's because you're building up strength. You're building yourself up to a moment of the judgment where you finally say, I'm done, and you move on and you move forward. What is the energy that's trying to come through the judgment? The judgment is really support and love from your guides, from I'll call it your cheerleaders on the other side, that really want you to move to this next phase. And they're saying, this is not so bad, this is not so bad. Where you have been is far worse than where we're trying to have you go. So think of that, when your anxiety comes up, or your worry, or I'm not sure what this is going to look like. What you've already been through is worse than any door you could walk into. So this leads me to believe that what's on the other side of that door is a lot of light, is a lot of benefit, is a lot of good things that you've been asking for. It's like the Three of Fire put those ideas up into that ethereal space, into that manifesting space, and the judgment is answering them. The fire has taken hold. You see, it's like she put up these three, they turned into arrows, and now it's ready. So you're coming to a point where you're going to have to decide that it's okay to move through to this next level, that it's okay to open the door, that it's okay to walk through the door. And what is going to hold you back more than anything is that fear of disappointing others. Fear of those that rely on you, fear of those who count on you being there, counting you being on there in a certain way. You're afraid you're going to let them down. And it's actually the reverse that's going to happen. You going through this door is going to help you open up to a side of yourself that's going to be more, it's better for other people to be around, whether that means you're more nurturing or you're less needy or clingy. This transformation is not just about benefiting you, it's about benefiting those around you. But you're most worried about emotionally letting someone down or disappointing how someone will view you. Actually, there's something else in the Elder of Air. I feel like she's been a challenge in other readings as well, although I'm not remembering specifically. It's hard for me to remember these readings after I've done them. Now, she's got that same golden halo behind her, or orangish halo. So this has to do with a backstory. What is your backstory about wanting this transition or this change? I feel as though there's some guilt in you wanting what you're wanting. So when it was all a dream, when you were in the daydreaming phase, it was like, this would be really nice to have. I'd love to have this, but it wasn't such a threat because it wasn't real. It was just a daydream. But then you see how quickly the universe has responded to your daydream, trying to help you make it reality. That Eight of Fire has moved things along faster than you were really planning for it to. And now you're stuck with, okay, but then do I have a right to want this? Isn't this going to mean that someone else suffers? Isn't what I'm wanting happening at someone else's expense? And the answer is equivocally no. because everyone has the same access to the universe. Everyone has the same access to manifesting energy. Everyone has the same access to growth, to connection to their intuition, and really they have the same connection to abundance. What we have to unpack, what we may have to sift through and let go of in order to connect to that abundance is not the same for us. For some of us, connecting to abundance is as easy as just reaching up and picking an apple. For others of us, we have to sit there and pull away the cobwebs and clean out this and clean out that. And once we think something's cleaned up, something else comes up. The point, how we get there is different for all of us because we all have something different to learn, but there's the same abundance available. And we've all seen examples. We've all seen abundant people. We've all seen non-abundant people. We've seen healthy people. We've seen unhealthy people. And so you accomplishing your life's dream or what you truly want at this time does not take that dream away from anyone else. Doesn't take a growth experience away from someone. So the guilt is not helping you here. And you're thinking, well, but that's not how it's going to unfold in my life. I'm not trying to take something away. What I'm trying to do is change myself, but that's going to affect them. And again, they have the same access to abundance. So maybe your change in yourself means that they need to embark on some growth. And they have all of the abundant support that they need to do that. And by holding yourself back, you're holding their path back as well. So it's a little bit ironic. In holding yourself back because you think you're saving them, you're actually not. You're, in a sense, you're damning both of you. So this is something to really get to terms with and to really get to terms with quickly, because I am feeling how fast things are coming together for you. And the Ten of Water, Elder of Air, the Death card, all these cards we've been talking about, your dream is going to manifest a lot quicker than you had expected. You may have been thinking years, it's going to be months. It's like whatever scale you thought is now getting shortened. So it's really important that you work through these feelings of anxiety, these feelings of guilt, these feelings of I don't deserve this, or I'm going to take away someone else's peace. Really work through those and question them. Are they true? Is that logically true? Can you really take something away from someone else? No, they choose to focus on and create the world that they live in. All right, let's get a little bit more with that Death card, because I feel like there's a little bit more information coming in. What else do you want to tell us about the Death card? Six of Fire, 10 of theirs are ending, 10 of Air, and the World. Okay. We're reinforcing this message that you have to be willing to walk away from the way you've been seen in the past, the way you've gotten recognition in the past. Because the world, the goal, the body language of these cards are so wonderful. It's so clear. The new world is away from the past. This is the ending of the way you were seen, the ending of the way that people wanted to praise you or call you good. And this is the world, the goal. This is where we want to get to. But they're in two different directions. It's not like through here you get to there. They're in two different places. So what you call yourself, how you introduce yourself, what people used to praise about you, you know, the good girl, the good daughter, the good son, the obedient one, the reliable one, whatever it was, that needs to change. And I think this is also on the other side too. It's, oh, but you're the flaky one, or you're the you're the crazy one, or it's the negative things that people used to say about you. And sometimes we wear those as badges of honor because it makes us distinct, it makes us different. But you have to see I'm just really captivated by these wings. That they were, you thought they were the wings that you could fly with. Okay, these negative names that became like the badge of honor for you. You thought they would make you fly. They thought they would give you the recognition. But you see how they changed you to the tree. They actually pinned you down. They compartmentalized you, or they pigeonholed you into this way of being that literally needs to stop. Look at that hand. Stop. Because it has stopped your growth. It has stopped your expansion. And again, the body language, the colors. She's got all different kinds of colors going on. But look, we've got the red hair. She's got the red hair. And it's much longer here. So it's been going on for a long time. But now she's got shorter hair, and it's more pixie-ish. She's lightened up. When you let go of this legacy of being called a certain name, you lighten up and you finally find who you truly are. This is connection with the higher self. This is connection with the true self. And what I love even more about all of this is she had the greenish color wings. Now she's taken back her wings. Instead of being afraid of being seen for who she is, she's joyful, light, and buoyant in who she is. And that's such an important message, because look at the density of these black wings. They were so, it's really close to even her wings here on the death card. These wings that you've been trying to use to carry you places are too heavy. And I wonder if that's the judgment as well, what you've been cutting off, these heavy wings. And now you get to be reborn into these beautiful light. And there's a Luna moth. Really, these, if I could say that the moth was like any kind of wings, they were like this vivid. And then it had like the little circles on it. So this is very exciting because you're being reborn with those Luna moth wings that are going to bring you to that new place, that new acceptance of your true self. And because we've been talking about the transformation of feminine energy, you find total acceptance for that new self, because the feminine energy right now is stronger. And she is that I love you for who you are. And that's what you're about to experience through the door. So as you go through this passage, letting go of who you were, this is who you emerge. Light, joyful, full of possibilities, full of the true essence and energy and vitality to be your true self. And I love this. It's like a flame, but it's also like the kind of designs you might see on like Arabic temples or Arabic artwork. There's something sacred about this, that you have finally come home to your true self, that you finally come home. Once you've let go of those heavy wings that everyone else was putting on you, once you've let that go, you come home and you realize that your future is limitless and the possibilities are endless, because you have dropped that old identity. And as I'm looking down at the cards, I'm also seeing the black wings. Everyone else in these cards are either a mermaid or they've got the Luna moth in training wings. More black wings. The guilt, and then the way you started. And of course you would have started the journey with those black wings because that's who you were. But this is all about shedding those black wings and letting them become the translucence, the ethereal, the light, that Luna moth wing. That's what we're really becoming, is we're all becoming like that Luna moth. Uplifted, buoyant, beautiful, special, different than what we were, different than who we were. Is there anything else that wants to come through? There's one more thing about the Queen of Water, which was your helpful energy. What else? What else is about this card? The support is going to come in waves, and sometimes those waves are going to feel like tsunamis where they're so overwhelming, and then other times the support will pull back, and you may feel a little anxious, like, am I doing the right thing? Because all of a sudden there's nothing happening. It's like the ocean is the best way to think about this. Sometimes the waves are very much like this, and sometimes they're like these, like the huge swells. And remember that in order to have a big outpouring of momentum, there has to be, to balance it, the reverse. The energy has to build. So in those places where you don't feel that wave of support, just know that the energy is in a building stage. And this is a new rhythm for you, and it's going to become, I don't like to use the word permanent because that implies like for the rest of your life, but it's going to become a longer, more sustainable way of working, where you get used to this wave of help and then a wave of quiet and then a wave of help and then a wave of quiet. So just be open to that rhythm changing for you. All right, I'd like to take the time to close this reading and thank you for joining me. Thank you to our guides and the higher guidance for bringing through the information we need to grow at this time. Looking forward to the possibilities opening up and the energies of our hearts continuing to grow and expand. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.